Hidden behind every failed diet, every stalled scale, and every frustrating workout is a silent controller that almost nobody talks about. For years, weight loss has been sold as a simple math problem. Eat less, move more, count calories, repeat, yet millions of people do everything right and still see no real change. The truth is uncomfortable but powerful. Calories do not decide your fat loss. A single hormone does. That hormone is insulin. Insulin works quietly in the background, deciding when your body stores fat and when it finally lets fat go. Two people can eat the same food, the same calories, and get completely different results, all because insulin behaves differently in their bodies. This is why some people lose weight fast while others struggle for years. In this video, you will learn why most weight loss advice fails, how insulin secretly blocks fat burning, and the simple but overlooked trick that helps lower insulin so your body can switch from fat storage mode into fat burning mode. This is not about extreme diets or painful workouts. This is about understanding how your body actually works. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand why eating less is often not enough, why constant hunger is a sign of hormonal imbalance, and how small changes can create big results when insulin is controlled the right way. Many doctors and fitness influencers rarely explain this clearly, yet science has been pointing to it for years. When insulin stays high, your body locks fat in place. When insulin drops, fat loss becomes easier and more natural. This single idea has helped countless people break through plateaus without starving themselves. But here is the reason you should watch till the end. Most videos only explain what insulin is. They stop there. They never tell you how daily habits quietly keep insulin high even when you think you are eating healthy. They never explain why frequent meals, hidden sugars, and even some so-called fitness foods slow down fat loss. And they never share the one practical insulin trick that works for almost everyone when done correctly. This video connects all the pieces in a clear and simple way so nothing feels confusing or overwhelming. Each minute builds on the last, leading to one clear understanding that can completely change how you approach weight loss from today. There are facts here that most people discover only after years of trial and error. Facts that explain why weight gain often starts around the belly. Facts that explain why energy crashes happen even on low-calorie diets. Facts that explain why discipline alone is not the problem. Hormones are, insulin is. And once you see this clearly, weight loss stops feeling like a fight against your own body. It starts feeling logical, predictable, possible. Stay till the end because the final part ties everything together into one simple takeaway you can actually use. Not next month, not someday, but right away. No complicated plans, no extreme rules, just a clear shift in how you think about food, timing, and fat loss. This knowledge does not rely on motivation. It relies on understanding, and understanding changes results. Welcome to the channel where we break down complex health topics into simple truth that actually works. If you want more videos that expose what most people never explain about weight loss, metabolism, and the human body, make sure to subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because once you learn how insulin really controls fat, there is no going back. Insulin is a hormone your body makes every time you eat. The moment food enters your system, insulin is released into your blood. Its main job is simple. It takes sugar from the blood and moves it into your cells, so your body can use it as energy. This process is normal and necessary. Without insulin, sugar would stay in the blood and cause serious damage. When insulin works properly, it helps fuel your muscles, your brain, and your organs. The problem begins when insulin is released too often and in large amounts. This usually happens because modern eating habits keep sugar entering the blood again and again throughout the day. Every snack, every sugary drink, every refined meal triggers another insulin response. Over time, insulin is no longer just moving sugar into cells. It starts sending another signal. That signal tells the body to store energy as fat. Insulin does not only help with energy use, it also controls fat storage. When insulin levels are high, fat burning slows down. When insulin stays high for too long, fat burning almost shuts off completely. This is why insulin is often called a fat storage hormone. As long as insulin remains elevated, the body prefers to store fat instead of releasing it for fuel. High insulin levels change how the body behaves. Fat cells become more active at storing energy, while fat-burning pathways remain locked. This is especially noticeable around the belly area. Belly fat is more sensitive to insulin signals than other fat stores. When insulin rises frequently, belly fat grows faster and becomes harder to lose. This is not because of weak willpower, it is a biological response. Insulin is doing exactly what it is designed to do. The issue is not insulin itself. The issue is constant insulin stimulation. Over time, cells start reacting differently. They become less responsive to insulin's signal. This is known as insulin resistance. When cells stop responding well, sugar stays in the blood longer. The body senses this and releases even more insulin to fix the problem. This creates a cycle. More insulin leads to more resistance. More resistance leads to even higher insulin. Fat storage increases while fat burning decreases. Hunger also increases because cells are not receiving energy properly. This makes people feel tired, hungry, and frustrated, even when they are eating enough calories. As insulin resistance grows, losing weight becomes harder. Cutting calories alone does not fix the hormonal imbalance. A person can eat less and still struggle because insulin continues to block fat release. This explains why many people hit a plateau even on strict diets. The scale stops moving, not because the body is broken, but because insulin is still high. When insulin is elevated, the body defends its fat stores. It treats fat as something that must be protected. This is why low-calorie diets often lead to intense cravings, low energy, and eventual weight regain. The body is fighting back. Most diets fail because they focus only on food quantity. They ignore hormonal signals. Calories matter, but hormones decide what happens to those calories. If insulin remains high, calories are more likely to be stored as fat. If insulin stays low, calories are more likely to be burned for energy. This is the missing piece that most weight loss advice leaves out. Many people believe that eating small meals all day keeps metabolism fast. In reality, frequent eating keeps insulin elevated. Each meal, even a small one, triggers insulin release. When meals are too close together, insulin never has time to fall. The body stays in storage mode all day long. Fat burning happens best when insulin levels drop. This usually occurs between meals, not during them. If insulin never drops, fat remains locked inside fat cells. This is why some people eat clean foods and still gain weight. Healthy foods can still raise insulin if eaten too often or in large amounts. The type of food matters, but timing also matters. Constant grazing is one of the biggest drivers of high insulin. Carbohydrates play a major role in insulin levels. Carbs break down into sugar quickly. When sugar enters the blood, insulin rises to manage it. Refined carbs cause sharp spikes. White bread, sugary snacks, sweet drinks, and processed foods all lead to rapid insulin release. The faster sugar enters the blood, the higher insulin spikes. These spikes signal the body to store fat. Over time, repeated spikes train the body to expect constant sugar. Insulin remains elevated even between meals. This keeps fat burning turned off for most of the day. The body becomes efficient at storing energy, but inefficient at using stored fat. Eating low carb smartly does not mean eliminating all carbs. It means choosing carbs that enter the blood slowly. Low glycemic carbs release sugar at a controlled pace. This leads to smaller insulin responses. Vegetables, whole foods, and fiber-rich sources digest slower. This allows insulin to rise gently and fall naturally. When insulin rises less, fat storage decreases. When insulin falls, fat burning increases. This shift is subtle but powerful. It changes how the body uses energy. Instead of relying only on incoming food, the body starts accessing stored fat. Hunger becomes more manageable. Energy becomes more stable. Cravings reduce because blood sugar swings are smaller. Protein also plays a role in insulin control. Protein triggers a modest insulin response, but it also increases satiety. It helps preserve muscle and reduces overeating. When meals contain enough protein, blood sugar stays more stable, fat and fiber slow digestion even further. This combination prevents insulin spikes. Meals built this way keep insulin controlled without extreme restriction. This is why low-carb smart eating feels easier than low-calorie dieting. The body is no longer fighting itself. Hormones begin to align with weight loss instead of resisting it. The biggest mistake people make is thinking fat loss requires suffering. In reality, fat loss requires the right signals. Insulin is one of the strongest signals in the body. When insulin is high, fat stays locked. When insulin drops, fat becomes available. This is not about eating less food. It is about sending the right message to the body. Lower insulin tells the body it is safe to burn fat. High insulin tells the body to save energy. This system evolved to protect humans during times of scarcity. Modern food environments constantly activate storage mode even when energy is abundant. Understanding this difference changes everything. When insulin is controlled, weight loss feels different. Hunger decreases naturally. Energy levels improve. Fat loss becomes more consistent. The scale moves without extreme effort. This does not happen overnight, but it happens steadily. The body shifts from storage mode into balance. Fat burning becomes accessible again. This is why insulin control is the foundation of effective weight loss. Not willpower, not endless workouts, not starvation, hormonal alignment. Once insulin behavior changes, the body responds. Fat loss follows as a result, not a struggle. Intermittent fasting works because it gives the body something it rarely gets in modern life, a real break from constant eating. Every time food is eaten, insulin rises. Even small snacks trigger it. When eating happens from morning until night, insulin stays elevated for most of the day. Fasting simply means choosing a period of time when no food is consumed, so insulin can finally drop. During this break, the body switches modes. Instead of storing incoming energy, it starts using stored energy. A simple way to begin is a 12 to 16-hour window without food. This could mean finishing dinner earlier and delaying breakfast the next day. Nothing extreme, no special products, just time. As insulin levels fall during fasting, fat cells begin releasing stored fat. This fat becomes available for energy. This is why fasting often leads to steady fat loss even without cutting calories aggressively. Hunger usually decreases after the first adjustment period because insulin swings become smaller. Energy becomes more stable because the body is no longer dependent on constant sugar intake. Fasting also helps reset insulin sensitivity. Cells start responding better to insulin again. This means the body needs less insulin to manage blood sugar once eating resumes. The result is lower overall insulin levels throughout the day, which supports fat burning instead of fat storage. Movement plays a powerful role in this process. Exercise is not only about burning calories, its real power lies in how it changes the way cells respond to insulin. When muscles move, they become more sensitive to insulin. This means sugar can enter cells more easily with less insulin required. Even simple movement has this effect. Walking after meals helps muscles absorb sugar directly, reducing how much insulin the body needs to release. This prevents large insulin spikes. Over time, regular movement trains the body to manage sugar efficiently. Insulin resistance decreases. Fat storage signals weaken. Energy use improves. Hard workouts are not required for this benefit. Consistent, gentle activity often works better because it can be done daily. The key is frequency, not intensity. The more often muscles are used, the more insulin sensitive they remain. This creates a body that needs less insulin overall. Lower insulin means easier access to stored fat. Small daily habits also support insulin balance. Protein plays an important role. Meals higher in protein reduce hunger and slow digestion. This leads to steadier blood sugar and smaller insulin responses. Sugary drinks are one of the fastest ways to spike insulin because liquid sugar enters the blood almost instantly. Removing them alone can dramatically reduce insulin load. Sleep is another major factor. Poor sleep increases insulin resistance and raises hunger hormones. Even one bad night can disrupt insulin control the next day. Quality sleep allows hormones to reset properly. Water before meals helps control portion size and slows eating, which supports better insulin response. These habits may seem simple, but their combined effect is powerful. They create an environment where insulin remains stable instead of constantly spiking. Many beliefs around weight loss cause confusion and frustration. One common myth is starvation mode. The idea that skipping meals instantly stops fat loss is misleading. Short fasting periods do not shut down metabolism. They allow insulin to drop and fat burning to increase. Another myth is that exercise must be intense to work. In reality, consistent movement improves insulin sensitivity more effectively than occasional extreme workouts. A third myth is that all carbs must be eliminated. Carbs themselves are not the enemy. The problem is frequent spikes and poor timing. Choosing slower digesting carbs and allowing insulin to fall between meals makes a major difference. Understanding these points removes fear and replaces it with clarity. Fat loss becomes less about punishment and more about alignment with how the body is designed to function. At the end of the day, the real secret is clear. It was never just about calories. It was always about insulin. When insulin stays high, fat stays locked. When insulin comes down, fat loss becomes easier, more natural, and far less stressful. This is why some people struggle for years while others see results without extreme effort. Lower insulin allows your body to do what it was designed to do: burn stored fat for energy. No starvation, no endless workouts, just the right signals at the right time. The best part is that these changes are simple. Anyone can start. Try these insulin tricks for just 1 week and pay attention to how your body feels. Notice the drop in hunger. Notice the steady energy. Notice how fat loss no longer feels like a fight. If this video helped you see weight loss in a new way, support the channel by liking the video, sharing it with someone who needs this message, and subscribing for more content that breaks down health and fat loss in a clear and honest way. Stay connected, because once insulin is under control, everything changes.